Naruto, The Next Generation, Chapter 1. You know, like, let me fucking breathe for a second, because I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. There's some residual salt emanating from me right now. I have multiple gripes with this chapter, and I'm just like, what the fuck is really going on here? Especially with these first 3 pages, which I'm not gonna lie, that new content, that setup, seeing this time skip, this fiend KAWAKI, which there's many theories going around about the man right now, facing off on the decimated Hokage Mountain against, you know, a time skip Boruto, looking savage as fuck with the cloak and the scar over his eye. They both have these seals on their right and left arm respectively, which mirrors, you know, the Naruto and Sasuke dynamic heavily, especially with this squaring off. Konoha is utterly decimated. I'm wondering if those seals are more in line with a curse seal, you know, via Oro, or if it's something more like the Sun and Moon seals that Hagoromo bestowed upon Naruto and Sasuke. Regardless, the man, I have no idea who this fiend KAWAKI is. We're going to talk about it in a second. He's going up against him. He's telling him he's going to send him to meet the 7th, which many people are speculating Naruto and Sasuke have been killed at this point. I'm going to get into that as well, because I'm not inclined to believe that whatsoever, and I'm going to tell you why. But I'm just like, who is this fiend? What the fuck is going on? It seems as though he's trying to bring about the Age of Ninja. Okay, and if he's the one who single-handedly destroyed Konoha, and you see nobody else there but Boruto squaring off against him, and then the shit that gets me extremely hype, and the color palettes in the opening pages are dope. Aside from my overarching problems with are minor gripes and at the same time bother me, but seeing this when he puts on the headband, he has this scar over his eye, and it seems as though the seal from his arm moves upward. So it's more in line with a curse seal, and it's as though he has like a half sage mode thing going on, but more in line with, you know, the snake sage mode and Oro with how his eye looks than, you know, the senjutsu of the frogs. And on top of that, he has the fucking BYAKUGAN in one eye. It's hype. It's fucking hype, dude. He has the sword in the mountain in his hand. He's wearing Sasuke's headband. He has the extra, you know, fucking slash to it because of the scar he has on his arm. I'm just like, alright, this shit is crazy. Crazy setup. Let's go. I'm ready to see what's going on with this new series, right? It's fucking an extension of Naruto. Everybody knows how I feel about it. I'm ready to fucking dive in. Next thing I know, we get slapped with that Dragon Ball Super effect, man. I'm just like, really? Really? Okay, I've seen it fucking twice, and I know the BDs are just around the corner. I don't need to see a recap of Boruto, the movie, in this fucking series, especially when you get me hype as shit with that intro. So I'm gonna say this right now. I'm not reviewing this Boruto manga until it surpasses the point of the movie. They set this up, I guarantee you, even after we pass the point of the movie material, we're still not gonna get to this, because this seems like a major time skip. Boruto is much older in these panels. Regardless of that, I'm not reviewing this until it catches up, and somebody let me know, because I believe this is a weekly serialization. I might be wrong. From what I understand, this is a weekly serialization. Based on the pacing of this chapter alone, and the fact that if it's weekly, we're going to go down to like 17 pages on average, we're not catching up to the movie material for a good at least 10 chapters. You know, 10 to 15 chapters is how long I think it's going to take if it is weekly. If it's monthly, which is going to make the wait even more painful, I don't think it's monthly. I believe it's either way, this shit is gonna drag on for quite some time, and it's a straight up cock tease, man. Like, I feel like I just got flashed and enticed and lured in, and then the girl just turned and ran the other direction, dude. Like, what the fuck? I'm just like, yo, I want answers. I want to get into this, and we're not going to get in. Let's step back and talk about some other things before we get back into this and craft some theories and then talk about what people are saying. This isn't bad by any means. Don't get it twisted and assume that I'm angry with this series or that I don't like it, because that's not the case. I'm just disappointed that we're getting a rehash material. Honestly, I can't really get over that fact because it's not what I was expecting. It just slapped me in the face. So I'm sure I'll come to terms with it a little bit, especially if they give us more. But it's jarring. It's not what I want, especially with the hype of the first chapter. But I'm not saying not to read this Boruto manga. And as a fan of Naruto, a huge fan of Naruto, I'm still interested. I definitely am still interested. This chapter wasn't bad in terms of the formal aspects. I do have some gripes, though. The art style. I can't expect it to be completely and exactly like Kishimoto's. I never did, okay? Because if his assistant could make things exactly like he did, that would be fucking weird and uncanny to begin with. And plus, he's doing a very good job overall of evoking, you know, Kishimoto's style, and is very reminiscent of that for the most part. But certain characters, certain designs, and just some things about it, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, Hinata, I'm being dead ass serious. I'm being dead ass serious when I say this. Where are OPPAI? Her face looks different. Like, what the fuck, man? Where are the OPPAI? You can't have a character who's had huge-ass OPPAI since she was 16 years old, and all of a sudden she's flat-chested. What is that? What, did she have breast cancer, and she had to have those shit sliced off? Like, what happened? What happened? I'm being dead ass serious. Sarada looks different. Okay, Sarada looks different. And they're adding these kind of girls and frills to her hair and Sasuke's hair and stuff like that, where I'm just like, yo, you're making him look like a fuckboy, dude. I'm not feeling it. I'm really not. It's not bad by any means. The man definitely has talent, and plus this is, you know, he's starting out, he's penning this work all the way through. I definitely see it refining itself, and probably even getting more in line with Kishimoto's style as it goes on. But for now, there's just certain parts about it where I'm just like, this is jarring. Just to have seen these characters one way this entire time, and then just these slight discrepancies really throw you off. I'm not gonna lie, Boruto looks straight, and so, you know, Naruto looks good. Those are fine. Those are fine. You know, for the most part, he's captured the style. But there's just minor discrepancies. It's not a big problem. It's really not a big problem. I just wanted to call it out because that's what I saw. Now, in terms of the chapter, and like I said, I'm not reviewing this until it catches up on I'm going to be reading it because I want to see, you know, if he inserts some extra scenes and stuff like that. And Kishimoto's overseeing the project, you know, very well, just to make sure that they don't butcher his shit, because the writer behind this, the man who's doing the script, I know worked on the script for the Boruto movie and as well worked on the last. So I have faith that the writing is going to be of quite a quality caliber. It might even pass KISHI'S, to be completely honest with you, because Kishi wasn't the greatest when it came to the writing sometimes. But you know, the art style definitely has ways to go, and the way, the direction they're taking this series right now, because even though I said they're giving it that super treatment, it's kind of even worse than that, because we only got one extra scene. At least Super had a bunch of extra content when they were rehashing stuff. We only got one little extra scene this chapter, which was cool to see MOEGI, to see that she is Team MOEGI, and she's, you know, kind of leading and guiding the new Shikacho. You know, she has Inojin, Shikadai, Chocho under her wing, telling them to enter the tuning exams and stuff like that. We didn't see that in the Boruto movie, so it was cool to get those extra 3 pages. But other than that, the chapter followed the movie to a fucking T, from the dialogue to the scene that we saw, and I love the Boruto movie. It was perfect. I've seen it twice. Okay, it's almost, and it's on the eve of the BDs. So I don't need to see this rehash, man. Get into the new content straight out of the gate. There's no need to go back down this path. But you know what? I'm just going to take a step back and let it lie for now. Let's talk about what could potentially be going on with these first couple of pages. First of all, a lot of people are speculating, based on the seal, the way that it looks, and the way it kind of raises upward, you know, Boruto's transformation. Boruto's, you know, kind of pseudo-sage mode, where he has the BYAKUGAN in one eye. His eye, and then the kind of sage mode he has, like I said, is reminiscent of Oro. So I wouldn't be surprised, and especially as far as KAWAKI is concerned, because the theories concerning KAWAKI are that he is, in fact, some sort of fusion hybrid of Naruto and Sasuke's genes. And, you know, similar to the whole Mutsuki thing, which, and that's the thing too, man. I was hyped going into this, and even the first couple of pages, because I read the first couple of pages, and I was sitting down doing a live reaction. I'm like, yo, like, what is happening, dude? Kono has been decimated. Who is this fiend? And then we just go back into the shit, to rehashing the shit I've already seen. I'm like, no, like, are you and plus the whole Mutsuki side chapter was building up height, and seeing him with the sage mode, seeing, you know, Oro's whole thought process with him and everything like that, which also leads me to believe that Oro could definitely be have a hand in this, for damn sure. You could definitely have a hand in this. I could easily see him, having something to do with it. But as soon as I saw the whole bear scene with Konohama and they're trying to chase it down, he has the fucking jutsu stealing ninja tool, which I'm going to talk about that fiend scientist in a second, because he very well could have his hand in this too. But I'm just like, yo, come on, man, come on. It really just threw me off and imbued me with salt, I'm not going to lie. But as far as Kawaki is concerned, I would love it if Aura was behind him, simply because to see Aura return to his sinister roots is something that I low-key always want to see. I really do. So, it's straight. I'd be completely down with that. And barring it being him, barring that scientist that made that ninja tool, having some sort of involvement with this, which is what some people are speculating, unless it goes back to the roots of the series and we get some sort of returning antagonist or threat from beforehand, because I can't see Kawaki just coming up in and of himself. And I do think that Kawaki was most likely part of the village, just because of the way Boruto refers to him, the way he says, I'll send you to meet the seventh, which I want to talk about the Naruto and Sasuke stuff in a second, because I can't believe that they're dead. But here's the thing, I do think that, but barring some sort of antagonistic force from the past, maybe it's the Otsutsuki once again, and the fact that he has this black staff, very reminiscent of the Gudodama of the True Seeking Orbs, and the staffs they had, Naruto staff, Obito staff, Madara staff, Hagoromo staff. That's what it looks like he has in his hands as well. So it very well could be some sort of threat going back to the inception of the series. Or, it's something new that we haven't seen, and I'd be fine either or, but I want to fucking see it. If Naruto and Sasuke are dead, show me, okay, because that's what, and I'm not buying that they're dead. I want to know what, the original dialogue was. Does it imply when he's like, I'll send you to meet the seventh? Does that imply death or not? Please, somebody tell me that. But either way, and I'm not talking about the translation, I'm talking about in the original Japanese with the kanji and everything like that. What was the intonation of that? What was the connotation of what was said? But here's the thing. There's so many possibilities of what could be happening right now, especially with the decimation of Konoha. Entirely the fight mirroring this kind of Naruto versus Sasuke thing, especially with the hands and everything like that. But I'm thinking it brings me back to the pain invasion, right? And everybody could just be fucked up right now, dude. Naruto and Sasuke could be on death's door. They could be on the brink, okay? They could be incapacitated right now. They could have been transported to some alternate dimension. There's many possibilities as to what could have happened to them than them just dying. So I refuse, until I see it, I refuse to believe that they were killed. Kawaki's whole endgame is to seemingly, destroy the age of the ninja yet again. And just seeing Boruto in these panels, it hyped me up, man. It's badass. He looks like a savage. He's older. He has the Sasuke headband, the full cloak, clearly completed his training with the man. The BYAKUGAN in one eye, this seal, the katana in his hand. He looks like a fucking monster, dude. And I wanted to see this clash. It would have been fucking savage. But ultimately, it amounts to nothing more than a tease, because we're not going to see any of this content for quite. This is endgame stuff being shown early, or at least the end of the preceding, the arc following this rehash of the Boruto movie, man. So, I don't know, man. I really don't know how to feel about this right now. I really don't know. And I'm wondering, too, could it be something else? If Aura's not involved, and maybe it's something like maybe Shin and that whole thing that transpired in the Scarlet Spring has something to do and ties into this as well. Who fucking knows? There's many possibilities. It's too early to really say right now. I like the idea of Aura being involved with the hints that we have and some of the theories that are going around. But ultimately, right now, I'm just like, yo. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I wanted this project. Even though the conclusion of the Naruto series was perfect for me. The series came full circle. I was content, okay? And I've been following Naruto for years. This is the series, for those of you who've been around the channel for a while, you know this, okay? This is the series that solidified my love for the shonen genre. This series that really, pushed me wholeheartedly into getting into anime and manga fully and expanding my scope when I was younger. This is the first series that I read weekly, starting back when I was like 13 years old or some shit like that. So, this, right, and I wanted this. After Scarlet Spring, after the Boruto movie, I loved both. The Mitsuki chapter was beast. I was hype. I'm like, let's fucking go. But they just killed it and squashed it with the rehash, dude. And just with the way some of the things look, it is jarring to me. I'm just like, just get me into the hype of this first page, and it could just be me, okay? It could just be me. I might have just been ranting on, and people don't see eye to eye with me. Some people might love this. If you do, tell me what you love about this chapter. I'll hold it against you. I want to hear that, because right now, aside from the opening page, getting that extra scene with, the new Team MOEGI and everything like that, and I'm guessing, like I said earlier, if MOEGI has a team, granted, there's not many other people for the new generation to see, but I'm guessing Udon has something as well, going on for himself, and that would be cool to see the entirety of Team Ibizu kind of have something in this new generation, some sort of instructor role. But I'm just like, yo, yeah. There has to be some explanation to this, whether there's some distortion going on. I don't think that a bunch of people have been fucking killed by Kawaki's hand alone, especially, and that is just him and Boruto. That's too far-fetched. Naruto and Sasuke not being there could be 100 explanations for why they're not actually partaking in this fight, and for what Kawaki says, than them just being flat out dead. If they are, show me. That's all I need to fucking, I need to see it. I need to fucking see it. I refuse to believe it until I see it with my own two eyes. But that's pretty much it, dude. I'm done ranting on. I'm really done. I'm not reviewing this until it catches up, surpasses the movie. That's all I can say. I'm not doing it. Even if there's little extra scenes, unless it's something really cool that I want to talk about, I'm not going to be talking about it. So I will come back for the reviews with this once it catches up to that point. But until then, I've just been left empty with this hype building up, and then just, okay, we're not even going to address it for, in any time in the foreseeable future. Even super throwing extra scenes, man. I mean, it could be too early to say, man. It could be too early to say. Maybe they're going to do a lot more extra content as we go along, but that would just make it drag even more from getting to this hype that they established. So, I don't know, man. And bring back HINATA'S OPPAI, please, dude. Just please, man. Because the distortions right now, it's a little bit off-putting. So, those are my thoughts on this first chapter of Boruto. It is what it is. Let me know yours, and I'm out. Peace.